अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
वालेकुम सलाम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
Waalaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. Brothers and sisters, we will continue our lesson. This week, inshallah, we will learn the lesson number 4 of Durusul Lughatul Arabiya, book 1. Before we start the lesson, we learn its grammar. So if any of you have any questions, you can raise your hands. Today, we are going to learn noun endings. How we pronounce a noun and what will be its ending. Ending means the last word of the noun. The last word of the noun. We call it Arab. In Arabic, we call it Arab. These are called noun cases, case ending, or Arab. There are 3 cases of noun ending. One is nominative case. In English, we call it nominative case. In Arabic, we call it marfu'un. Marfu'un. Ending vowel sign is dhamma. Ending vowel sign is dhamma. Function in the sentence, it is a subject. It acts like a subject in the sentence. Nominative case, we call it marfu, and its sign is dhamma, and it works in a sentence as a subject. Like al-kitabu, kitabun, Muhammadun, babun. So this is an ending. Kitabu, al-kitabu, kitabun, bun is an ending. I make it more large for you, so you can. Muhammadun, this is a dhamma on the dal. Muhammadun, babun, this is a noun ending. The last word of the noun, we call it Arab. So if there is a dhamma, we call it nominative case marfu'un. Dhamma, this is a sign of dhamma. We call it dhamma. And if to dhamma, then we call it tanween. So if there is a dhamma, we call it nominative case marfu'un, and it is a subject in the sentence. The second is accusative case. In Arabic, we call it mansub. And the sign of mansub is fatah. There will be fatah. And it is an object of a verb. It is object of a verb. Like al-kitaba. This is a fatah. Kitaban. This is fatah. Muhammadan. This is fatah. Baban. So they are accusative case, mansub. And they are object of a verb. The third case is genitive case. In English, we call it genitive case. In Arabic, we call it majroorun. The sign of majroor is kasra. possessor of a thing, possessor of a thing, or comes after a proposition or an adverb. Like al-kitabi. This is the ending of the noun al-kitabi. We call it genitive case. Majroor. Kitabin. This is genitive case. Majroor. Muhammadin. Babin. So, if there is a kasra below the noun, it will be majroor. You will learn in this lesson more about this. The second thing, we will learn nominative sentences. In Arabic, how we define the nominative sentences. Al-jumla tul ismiya. Al-jumla tul ismiya, nominative sentences. A sentence that starts with a noun. That starts with a noun. We call it nominal sentences. A sentence that starts with a noun, we call it nominal sentences. Nominal sentence have a subject. Subject, we call it mubtada. And a predicate, khabar. Predicate, we call it khabar. So the formation or the construction of a nominal sentence is, it starts with the noun, it has a mubtada. Subject is a mubtada and a predicate is khabar. Both the subject and the predicate. Subject and the predicate. Mubtada and khabar are always in nominative case. Always in nominative case. They will always be in nominative case marfu. They will have dhamma, or they will have dhamma. The subject is mostly definite. The subject is mostly definite. The predicate is mostly indefinite. Definite we call it marifatun, and indefinite we call it nakiratun. The predicate or the khabar. The predicate or the khabar is mostly indefinite. The subject or the mubtada is mostly definite. You see here the example. Al-kitabu jadidun. Al-kitabu is a subject. This is mubtada. Al-kitabu is mubtada. We call it mubtada. Jadidun is a khabar. Jadidun is a khabar. Al-qalamu, this is a mubtada. Maksurun is a khabar or predicate. Maksurun is predicate or khabar. Haza baytun, this is khabar. Baytun is khabar and haza is subject. Al-qalamu is subject. So you see here, this is mubtada and this is marfu. You can see here the ending of a subject is marfu. Ending of a subject you can see here is marfu. Haza, they all are marfu. Then the second thing you see here, mu'arfa. Al-kitabu, the book. We have learned in the last lesson, al we use to make the noun definite. Al is a sign of definite in Arabic. Al mean the book. Al mean the. So it means the book. And this is a sign of definite. Khabar is always marfu jadidun, maksurun baitun. And mostly it is nakra. Mostly it is nakra. What is the sign of nakra? There is a tanween ending. It have a two dhamma, jadidun, maksurun, baitun. If there is a tanween at the predicate, it is indefinite, nakiratun. The next thing we are learning, we are going to learn Hamzatul Wasal. Hamzatul Wasal. What is Hamzatul Wasal? The joining Hamza. The Hamza in Alif Lam definite article is called Hamzatul Wasal. Is called Hamzatul Wasal. Al. You see here Al. In Al, this Alif, this Hamza is, we call it Hamzatul Wasal. It joins the words. It is joining the words. It only comes at the beginning of a word. And if preceded by an other word, it is not pronounced. If this Hamza is in the beginning of the word, then we will pronounce it. And if it is preceded by an other word, it is not pronounced. Like al-baytu. This is in the beginning of the word, so we will pronounce this al-baytu, the house. Is pronounced al-baytu, and it means the house is pronounced as wal-baytu. Okay, so you see here, the second is wal-baytu. Wal-baytu, there is waw and there is al-baytu. In this case, we will not pronounce this alif. This alif we will not pronounce. Waw we will pronounce with the lam. Wal baytu. And the house. Hamzatul Wasal also appears in words without alif lam. Sometimes it appears in the word without alif lam, like Bismillahi. You can see here Bismillahi. So this meme we will pronounce with this lam, and this Hamza we don't pronounce. Isabnu Maryama. Isabnu Maryama. This you can see here. Isa ibnu Maryama. Isa ibnu Maryama. But we have learned that if the Hamza is in the sentence, then we don't pronounce this. We will pronounce Isa ibnu Maryama. This sa we will pronounce with the ba. Isa ibnu Maryama. And the next is Hamzatul Wasal is written in one of the following three ways. These are the three signs of Hamzatul Wasal. Symbol on alif. Sometimes it is written like this. This is also Hamzatul Wasal. And sometimes it is written without any sign like this. This is also Hamzatul Wasal. And sometimes completely omitted in writing like this. Bismillahi. And what is the definition of the wasl? Wasl means joining, uniting, attaching. This is the meaning of Hamzatul Wasl. It joins the words. It unites the words. Both alif and lam in alif lam are not pronounced when a word starts with the solar letters. In the last letter, we have learned about the solar and the lunar letters. If it starts with the solar letters, then alif and lam we don't pronounce. You will learn like one najmu. You see here, one najmu. This is a solar letter. So alif and lam we will not pronounce. Waw we will pronounce with the noon. One najmu is pronounced at one najmu and not wal najmu or wa an najmu. We cannot pronounce like this. We cannot pronounce like this. The right pronunciation is one najmu. You have learned about the Hamzatul Wasl. Now we will learn about the Hamzatul Qat'i. Hamzatul Qat'i. What is this? As opposed to Hamzatul Wasl, Hamzatul Qat'i is always pronounced. Hamzatul Qat'i, we will always pronounce it regardless of its position in the sentence. Whatever its position is, we will pronounce it. Hamzatul Qat'i is usually written with Hamza. This is a sign of Hamzatul Wasl, Hamzatul Qat'i. If you see this sign on the alif, we must have to pronounce it. On or below. This sign can be on like this, and this sign can be below like this. This is, we call it Hamzatul Qat'i, and we have to pronounce it. Whatever its position, either it is in the beginning of the sentence, either it is in the middle of the sentence, we cannot skip it. We must have to pronounce this Hamzatul Qat'i. And this is a sign. If you see this sign on the alif, so you understand that this is a Hamzatul Qat'i. Qat'i being cutting, discontinuing or separating. Like Qul huwallahu ahad. So you see here ahad. It has a sign of Hamza, ahad. So we will pronounce it. This Hamza, this alif don't have this sign. So we don't pronounce this one. Qul huwallahu. We skip this. But this one is carrying the sign of Hamzatul Qat'a. We will pronounce it. Qul huwallahu ahad. Wa iz qala rabbuka. This is have kasra. We will pronounce it. Wa iz qala rabbuka. There are the examples in this lesson. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. You see here, Rabbil Alameen, we don't pronounce this alif. Ba, we are pronouncing with the lam. Ar-Rahma Nir-Rahim. In the Nir-Rahim, we are not pronouncing Alif and Lam. This is solar letter. We are not pronouncing Alif and Lam. Nir-Rahim. Noon, we are pronouncing with the Ra. Maliki Yawmiddin. This mean we will pronounce with the Da. Yawmiddin. And you see here, this is Hamzatul Qat'i. This is Hamzatul Qat'i. This we will pronounce. Wa iyyaka. You see here the sign of the Hamza here. So we will pronounce it. Wa iyyaka. Or here iyyaka. This is a sign. So we have to pronounce this one. Ghairil. This Hamza we will not pronounce. This one. This is a sign of Hamzatul Qat'i. If you see this one, you have to pronounce it. And if Hamzatul Wasli, this is a sign of Hamzatul Wasl. If you see this kind of Hamza, or you simple see this Alif, so simple Alif means that is Hamzatul Wasl and we don't pronounce it. And this is a sign of lunar letters. And this is a sign of solar letters. Now in this lesson, we are going to learn genitive case. Genitive case. Proposition, we call it harfu jarrin. Harfu jarrin, we call it proposition. And the genitive case, we call it majrurun. Literal meaning of harfu jar is a particle of pulling. Particle of pulling. This is the literal meaning of harfu jar. And what is the harfu jar? This is proposition. In English, we call it proposition. Like fi, in English we call it in. In Arabic, fi, on, ala, from, min, to, ila. So in this lesson, we are going to learn these 4 propositions and we will learn the use of the proposition in Arabic. You see here, al-baytu. Al-baytu, the house. This is definite and this is marfu. This is a definite and this is a marfu. Al-baytu. When we use here fil bayti mean in the house. Fil bayti, in the house. So it is proposition, and when there is a proposition before a noun, it make it majroor. Fil bayti. It will give kasra. Fil bayti. Harfu jar, and we call it ismun majroor. Ismun majroor. Same as jar majroor. We can call it jarun majroorun. You see here, when a noun is preceded by a proposition. When a noun is preceded by a proposition, it is said to be in genitive case. A noun is preceded by a preposition. It is said to be in genitive case. And these are the prepositions fi, ala, min, and ila. The house, al baytu. In the house, fil bayti. This is genitive case. A house, baytun. This is indefinite. This is indefinite. Baytun. In a house, fi baytin. Fi baytin. This is genitive case. The other thing is fil bayti is a shibhul jumla, is a phrase. Fil bayti is a phrase, it is not a sentence. It looks like a sentence. Fil bayti, it looks like a sentence, but it is not one. It is not a sentence. It is only a simple phrase. Okay. So you see here, Muhammadun fil masjidi. Muhammad is in the masjid. This is nominal sentence with jar and majroor. Muhammadun is subject. Muhammadun is mubtada and subject. Fil masjidi is khabar. And fi is a proposition. Fi is a proposition, harf jar, and al masjidi is ismun majroor. Muhammad is in the mosque. Muhammadun fil masjidi. Demonstrative pronouns, it can also be a mubtada. Huwa ala maktabin. Huwa alal maktabin. It is on a table. Huwa is a subject, mubtada. Ala is a proposition. Ala is a proposition, harf jar, on. Maktabin. Maktabin is in genitive case. It is majroor. So it is mubtada, huwa is mubtada, and this is ala maktabin is khabar, ala is harfu jar, and maktabin is ismun majroor. Okay. This is our lesson for today. We can see here al baytu, the house. Fil bayti, in the house. So you see this red letter. This is in nominative case. Al baytu, the house. This is a nominative case. Fil bayti, because of fi. Because of fi, it is going to majroor. Fil bayti. This is genitive case. Al masjidu. Masjidu is nominative case. Fil masjidi is genitive case, majroor. Because of the fi, because of proposition, it is getting majroor. Al maktabu means desk. This is a nominative case. Al maktabu, the desk. Al maktabi, on the desk. As-sariru, the bed. Alas sariri, on the bed. So this is the genitive case because of Allah, because of the proposition. Because of the proposition, fi is a proposition, Allah is a proposition. The noun following the proposition will be in genitive case, will be majroor. Aina Muhammadun. Aina mean where? Aina where? Where is Muhammad? Where is Muhammad? Huwa fil ghurfati. He is in the room. Huwa fil ghurfati. He is in the room. Fi is a harf jar and ghurfati is majroor. Wa aina Yasirun, and where is Yasir? Huwa fil hamami. Hamami, you see here, genitive case. He is in the washroom. Al hamamu, it is washroom. Al ghurfatu is marfu. And because of the fi, it is in genitive case. Al hamamu is marfu. Because of fi, it changed into genitive case. Wa aina aminatu, and where is Amina? Al matbakhu. Al matbakhu is genitive case. Hiya fil matbakhi. Because of fi, because of the preposition, it changed into a genitive case. Ainal kitabu, where is the book? Huwa alal maktabi. It is on the table. Because of Allah, it is majroor. Wa aina sa'atu, and where is the watch? Hiya ala shariri, it is on the bed. Here we are using for the asatu because asatu is a feminine word. Asatu is a feminine noun, so we use hiya. Hiya ala sariri, it is on the bed. So this is our lesson for today. Any of you have any question, you can ask. We have 3 minutes. Any of you have to ask any question, you can ask. Raise your hand. So I will open your mic if you have any question. Sakina Abdul Rahim. You can open your mic.
No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam, Jazakallah khair for the beautiful lecture.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Over Hamzatul Wasl,
Yes.
it was stated that it can be written in 3 ways.
Yes, right.
Naam, I understand the first 2 ways, but I don't understand the third way it can be written, where they said it can be completely omitted.
You see
Is
here.
it that both and every?
Your voice is breaking.
I said the 3 ways in which Hamzatul Wasl can be written. I don't understand the part of sometimes can be completely omitted in writing.
You, when it is in the sentence, you have to omit it. When Hamzatul Wasl, it is in the sentence, you have to omit it. When it is in the beginning of a sentence, when it is in the beginning, you have to pronounce it like Ismun. it is in the beginning, we will pronounce. Ibnun, we will pronounce. When the Hamzatul Wasal is in the beginning of a sentence, then we will pronounce it. And if it is in this sentence, and if there is any word before the Hamzatul Wasal, we will not pronounce it. Like you see here, wal baytu. I make it more large for you. You see here, wal baytu. So before Hamzatul Wasal, there is a word one, wow. We will not pronounce here Hamza. We will pronounce wow with the lam. Wal baytu.
Naam. Jazakallahu khair.
Wa anti fajazakumullahu khair. Okay. Mulazim Hussain Qadri. You can open your mic.